Good morning everyone. In today's class, I would like to discuss you on the topic brucellosis, which is also called as Malta fever or Mediterranean fever. So coming to the topic, here it is a major bacterial zoonosis. It is a major bacterial zoonosis and it is occasionally transmitted by different species of this Brucella group. And this disease is mainly characterized by intermediate febrile attacks with profuse sweating, arthritis and enlarged spleen. So what are all the characteristics which are exhibited in this disease brucellosis means it is often characterized by febrile attacks and there will be profuse sweating. There will be profuse sweating and there will be enlargement of the spleen, and this disease it will last for several days, even months or sometimes even years also. So this disease it is endemic wherever there is sheep, goats, pigs and cattle are raised in large numbers. So where it is occurring, it is mainly occurring as an endemic disease where there is large number of sheep, where there is large number of goats and where there are large number of pigs and cattle are raised in large numbers. And the important endemic areas are Mediterranean zones, Europe, Central Asia, Mexico and South America. So where it is occurring, it is occurring mainly in the areas of Mediterranean zones, that is Europe and Central Asia, Mexico, South America. So in India, practically every state reports animal brucellosis. Why? Because everywhere in India there are large number of cattle and sheep, goats and pigs which were raised. So it is an occupational hazard. It is an occupational hazard. It is mainly, you can observe in the persons who are mainly dealing with the animals, So those persons include butchers, means those who sell the meat, and shepherds, those who rear the sheep, and the farm workers and lab personnel. So all these are the personals who are having more risk for this disease, brucellosis. Coming to the history of the disease, it was first described more than 2000 years ago, mainly by the Romans and Hippocrates. It was described more than 2000 years ago, mainly Romans and Hippocrates have described it. And coming to the other point, in 1887, Dr. David Bruce, he isolated the organism that causes the brucellosis from deceased patients from the island of Malta. That's what it is also called as Malta fever or Mediterranean fever. So that's what in 1987 Dr. David Bruce he isolated the organism that causes the brucellosis from the deceased patient, from the dead patient. He belongs to the island called Malta. So in 20th century, the Brucella bacteria was developed for the use as a biological weapon by United States. So in 20th century, in mid 20th century, so the United States, it had developed the biological weapon. So they will call it as biowars, where the people, when they are unable to face the countries with their military equipment or military attack, military strength, there the people will tend to cause a biological war. So this biological war means mainly, if you take currently there is one situation going in our society which is called as this coronavirus. So some people are saying that it was a biological war, it was a lab made bacteria which was made in the China. It was made in the Wuhan, China. So in such a way, like that, in mid 20th century, this Brucella bacteria, it was developed in a lab by the United States as a biological weapon. The use of brucellosis for biological warfare purposes was later banned in 1969 by President Nixon. So Mr. Nixon, he is the president. In the year 1969, so the brucellosis for biological war purpose was banned. So all countries had made an agreement that no country should develop any kind of disease for the war purpose. Coming to the epidemiological determinants here, coming to the agent factor, these brucellosis bacteria are mainly gram-negative rod-shaped cocci bacilli. These are gram-negative and rod-shaped cocci bacilli. Mainly they are belonging to the genus Brucella. They are belonging to the genus brucella. Mainly 4 species are infecting the man here. First one is brucellosis melitensis. So melitensis, it was mainly found in the goats and sheep. It was mainly found in the goats and sheep. And brucellosis abortus, it was mainly found in the cattle. And brucellosis caesus, it was mainly found in the pigs. And brucellosis canis, it was found in the dogs. So brucella, it can live up to 8 weeks in an unpasteurized milk and up to 40 days in the dry soil. It can live up to 8 weeks in the, that means almost 2 months in the unpasteurized milk, and up to 40 days it can live on the dry soil. Coming to the reservoir of infection here. So what are the reservoirs of infection here? Cattle, sheep, goats and swine, buffaloes, horses and dogs. So all these are the reservoirs of infection, and infected animals excrete brucella in the urine, milk, placenta, uterine and vaginal discharges, particularly during a birth or abortion. Mainly these infected animals, they are excreting the brucella in the urine as well as in the milk, in the placenta, in the uterine and vaginal discharges, particularly during a birth or abortion, and the animal remain infected for life. So once the brucellosis is occurring in an animal, then the animal remain infected for this lifetime. Coming to the host factors here. Coming to the host factors, human brucellosis is a disease of adult males. So it is mainly occurring in the adult males. Mainly farmers, shepherds, butchers and veterinarian and lab workers who are working are at high risk. Which people, in which persons it is occurring means it is mainly occurring in adult males. Those males are including the farmers, shepherds, butchers and veterinarian and lab workers at high risk. These workers are at high risk. Coming to the environmental factors. Overcrowding of herds and high rainfall and lack of exposure to sunlight, unhygienic practices in milk and meat production. The infection can travel along long distances in milk and dust, and the organism can survive in water, urine, feces, damp soil and manure. So what are all the environmental factors here? Overcrowding is one of the thing, and wherever there is high rainfall, there the disease is transferred very quickly, and lack of exposure to sunlight. So if the sunlight is coming, when the heat is produced, the organism may die, but where there is lack of sunlight, the organism is more active and it is more in transferable state. And unhygienic practices, where whenever they are producing the milk and meat production is going on, if they are not maintaining proper hygiene practices, there the more chances for getting this disease, brucellosis. And the infection, it can travel long distance in milk and dust. So you can see nowadays, you can see the milk, the milk will be raised in one area and it is distributed to all other areas through proper transportation. So if that milk was infected with any kind of these diseases, ultimately or automatically it will be transferred to different areas based on their consumption. And the next one is the organism. It can survive in water, it can survive in urine, it can survive in feces, even in damp soil and manure also it can survive. Coming to the incubation period here, on an average it is about 1 to 3 weeks, but it may be as long as 6 months also. It may be as long as 6 months also. How this disease is being transmitted means mainly through contact infection. By direct contact with infected tissues, blood, urine and vaginal discharge and aborted fetus and especially the placenta. So where there is direct contact with the infected tissues, where there is direct contact with blood, urine, vaginal discharge and aborted fetus and especially the placenta, there the disease is being transmitted very quickly. And coming to the other type, foodborne infection. So the infection is directly by the ingestion of raw milk or dairy products from an infected animal. Since it is an animal borne disease, since it is mainly occurring in the cattle, so whenever we consume the meat of a cattle or whenever we are consuming the raw milk of a cattle or the dairy products, there are more chances of getting the disease brucellosis. And fresh raw vegetables which were grown in infected manure. So here, as I said here the disease is being in the previous slide you can see here the organism can survive in water, urine, feces and damp soil and manure. So whenever this manure, infected manure is used for growing the raw vegetables, there are more chances of getting the disease brucellosis. And water contaminated with excreta of infected animals. So here you can see the water is mainly it is infecting in the disease is coming with infected tissues, blood, urine, vaginal discharge and aborted fetus and especially placenta. Whenever this blood or urine or any kind of discharge or any kind of tissue which is belonging to the animal is contaminating the water, or the excreta of the blood or urine or the manure which is contaminating the water, then there are more chances of getting this disease brucellosis. Coming to the airborne infection, so it can be traveling in dust also. We have seen it is mainly going through it can travel long distance in milk and dust, in milk as well as in dust. So milk will be carried by the persons and dust it can travel alone. So whenever environment of cow shed is highly infected, infected aerosols and dust act as a mode of transmission here. So what is the airborne infection here? Infected aerosols and dust are acting as a mode of transmission, airborne transmission, and brucella may be inhaled in slaughterhouses and laboratories. So this brucella organism, it can be inhaled with the dust or aerosols in the slaughterhouses, means where the meat production is going on, and in the laboratories So here if you see the cow shed, if the animals in the cow shed were affected with this brucellosis, then the area is a highly infected area. Coming to the clinical manifestations of this disease brucellosis, so there will be sudden onset of illness. With swinging pyrexia, rigors and sweating, and arthralgia involving larger joints such as hip, knee, shoulder and ankles. So there will be sudden illness. You will be having pyrexia, nothing but fever, rigors and sweating will be there. Chills and rigors will be there, and also sweating will be there, and there will be pain. There will be unbearable pain in the hip region, in the shoulder region as well as in the ankle region. And you will also observe the other symptoms such as low back pain, headache and insomnia, and small film hepatomegaly and splenomegaly. You can observe both enlargement of the liver and enlargement of the spleen. And leukopenia in acute phase subsides within 2 to 3 weeks. You can observe even leukopenia also. And there is severity of illness, but there is severity of illness but absence of clinical signs. So there may be severity of the illness is present, but sometimes there will be absent of the clinical signs also. So if the patient is treated with proper treatment, that is tetracycline, the symptoms will disappear very quickly. So this is happening in the acute phase. What are the complications? Means thrombophlebitis, arthritis, epididymitis, orchitis and spondylitis. So all these are the complications for this acute phase. So coming to the diagnosis here, how you can diagnose means an accurate history about the travel, occupation, animal exposure. So you have to take proper history regarding his travel, regarding his occupation, and what are the chances for his animal exposure. And next one is blood culture. You have to go for blood culture where you can find the organism, and you have to go for true cut biopsy, tissue biopsy from the bone marrow or liver. Why? Because you can observe hepatomegaly, even also you can observe splenomegaly. So you can get the liver biopsy or tissue biopsy done, and other serological investigations. So detection of infected animals by rapid test method. So how you can detect means, first one is milk ring test. First test is called as milk ring test. A sample of whole milk is mixed with a drop of strained brucella antigen. A sample of whole milk is mixed with a drop of strained brucella antigen. It is killed by abortus stained with hematotoxylin. So what is the drop of strained brucella means? It was killed B abortus stained with hemotoxylin. So if antibodies are present in the milk, the bacilli are agglutinated and raised with a cream to form blue ring on the top, leaving unstained, leaving the milk unstained. Coming to this milk ring test, mainly what they are using, they are taking a whole sample of milk which is mixed with a drop of strained Brucella antigen. See this drop of strained Brucella antigen is nothing but it was killed B abortus stained with mainly hemotoxylin. So if antibodies are present in the milk, the bacilli are agglutinated and raised with a cream to form blue ring on the top, leaving the milk unstained. So if there is by chance any bacilli are present, then you can observe agglutination. If antibodies are absent, there will be no color ring formed on the milk and it remains uniformly blue. You can see it in the picture clearly here. So they have taken 3 samples. This one is first sample and this one is second sample and this one is third sample. So you can see the formation of ring here. So where the antigens are present, there is formation of ring. Where the antigens are present, there is the formation of ring. Where the antigens are absent, there is no agglutination which had taken place. In the same way, you can see in the down pictures also. This A, B, C. In these samples, there was the agglutination which was present. This is mainly because of the antibodies which are present in the milk. If there are no antibodies, then you cannot find any kind of agglutination. So this is the milk ring test. Coming to the treatment part. Tetracycline, it is the drug of choice. And relapse is common and is due to difficulty in eradicating the intracellular bacteria. So there are more chances of relapsing of this disease, brucellosis, because we are unable to eradicate the intracellular bacteria. And multi-drug, that is 2 or more antibiotic regimen is recommended as it lowers the relapse. So you have to use the multi-drugs, not only single tetracycline. If you are able to use some multiple drugs, multiple antibiotics, then you can see effective treatment, because the antibiotic regimen is recommended as it lowers the relapses. So the use of more drugs means not more drugs, the use of multi-drugs, it will lower the relapsing. The antimicrobials, these are the most commonly used, which include doxycycline, which is given as 200 mg per day, and streptomycin, that is given 1 gram per day, and rifampicin, which is given 600 to 900 grams per day, gentamicin, and tetracycline, that is 2 grams per day, and trimethoprim sulfomethotrexate. So these are the drugs which were given in the treatment of this disease, brucellosis. And a full 6-week course of antibiotics is recommended. For how many weeks the treatment is given? It is given for at least 6 weeks. So coming to the control of this brucellosis, so coming mainly in animals, you have to test and slugger. So before an animal is being sluggered, before it is the meat production is going on with the animal, the infected animal, it has to be tested for the brucellosis. If it is negative, then only they have to go for the meat production. The infected animals are sluggered with full compensation to the farmers. So if they find out that the animal was infected, then the government will pay the money for the farmers, and they will slugger it with full compensation to the farmers. Coming to the vaccination, so with the live attenuated S19 brucella strain, they are mainly vaccinating the animals. A compulsory vaccination program for the endemic areas and systemic vaccination for the period of 7 to 10 years, it may result in the elimination of the disease. So if you are able to go for systematic vaccination, that is for the period of 7 to 10 years, then there are more chances for the eliminating of this disease, brucellosis. Coming to the hygienic measures, a clean and sanitary environment for the animals must be maintained, and sanitary disposal of urine, because this the urine and the feces are the major sources for the disease transmission. So if you are maintaining the proper sanitary of the disposal of excreta, then and if you are able to maintain the sanitation around the animal, then you can decrease the disease brucellosis, feces, and veterinary care of animals and health education. Coming to the humans, so you have to go for early diagnosis. The early the diagnosis, the early the treatment is started, and the early the patient has been recovered. So what was the drug of choice? Tetracycline is the drug of choice, and most of the times they will go for multi-drug therapy. Mainly it will lower the relapsing of the disease. In patients with skeletal or other complications, intramuscular streptomycin 1 gram dryly is given in addition with the tetracycline. So the patients who are having the complications with the skeletal, so they are giving intramuscular streptomycin 1 gram daily along with the tetracycline. The next one is pasteurization of milk. So as I said, the milk is the one of the transport for this disease to come occur between the man and the animal. So pasteurization of the milk and milk products, boiling can be done in case of pasteurization is not available. So you have to go for pasteurization of milk and milk products. If the pasteurization is not available, at least you can boil the milk. Coming to the protective measures, you have to go for high standards of personal hygiene and safe disposal of excreta, disposal of placenta and discharges and fetus from the aborted animal, and wear protective clothing. So all these are some protective measures that we can follow while we are dealing with a brucellosis infected animal. And we have to take the vaccination. The vaccination is human live vaccine, that is for B. abortus it is available. So it can be prevented by the animal disease control measures, and avoidance of unpasteurized dairy products and occupational protective measures can decrease the disease. They can decrease the disease, and once the disease is disappeared in the animal, it can disappear from the men also. So it can disappear if it is eradicated from the animal. So this was the final statement. Thank you. Thanks for listening. If you have any queries, you can contact me through my WhatsApp and through my email. Thank you so much.